Hi, this is Laura from LiveVisions.com. I wanted to say thank you for all the friend requests that I've received lately on my personal Facebook page. That was very kind of you all to send me. I just wanted to, I'm kind of a private person and I didn't want anyone to be upset if I didn't accept your requests or anything like that. I do have a Facebook page for the Live Vision site, livevisions.com on Facebook. Feel free to sign up and you can get updates and whatnot. It's just, I'm kind of a private person, and childhood friends or family members I pretty much just keep on Facebook. But other than that, I don't really add new people. But I really do appreciate, people trying to friend me. That was so nice. And I just feel bad about it. I'm like, I don't want to give people the wrong idea that I don't, it's just I'm a private person, So anyway, I wanted to say I did get your request, and if I didn't add you, don't be offended. I just keep family pretty much and childhood friends. So anyway, I wanted to discuss today about the houses and what they mean. I received some requests that I feel things were a little confusing for some of you as far as what the houses really meant. And some of you were just learning what your ascendant was and, what the difference was between your ascendant and your sun sign. So I thought that I would create this video to clear up some things for you. Okay, your sun sign is basically your soul. It's when people really know you, that's what they see, okay? Your ascendant sign is what people see when they first meet you, like if you're an outgoing person, or if you're, like wild, or if you're, the thing that people see right away when they meet you is your ascendant sign. When they get to know you, they really see your sun sign. And when they get to know you as well, they can see your moon, how you are when you're emotional, when you're upset, and how you react. All those things come into play. But I wanted to discuss with you a little bit about the houses and what they mean. So let's talk about the first house. The cusp of the first house is your ascendant, okay? And that's what people see when they meet you, okay? And the first house is how it shows a lot about how you are in general, the kind of person you are. So if you have planets in the first house, it really would affect your personality. The first house shows how you present yourself to the world, your outward appearance, okay? The first house is the house of self, okay? Now, when we go to the second house is really your earned income. It shows you probably like what you're gonna do and how you're gonna earn income in life. It's your values. It's also your possessions, things that you own and value in your life. Excuse me, I'm getting over a cold. So that's the second house, and that is your income. The second house is your income. The third house has to do with communications. Third house has to do with short distance travel. It has to do with communications. It has to do with siblings, cousins. So the third house can entail a few different things. So you really have to look at the chart to say, okay, this is pertaining to my sibling, or this is pertaining to a cousin, or this is just a communication issue for me, So right now, Virgo ascendants have Saturn transiting their third house, okay? So this would mean for Virgo ascendant, Saturn, it depends. Not every Virgo ascendant is going to have this, so I don't want emails saying, that's not me. For the most part, if you have relatively even houses, okay, the degrees, your third house would be communication. So you may notice some issues with communications, or for Virgo ascendants, or you may issues with a sibling, you may not be talking as much, or vehicles. It's really time to get your vehicles checked if you have Saturn going into your third house, something like this. Anyway, just thought I'd touch on that. But third house is really communications, siblings, short distance travel, it's your vehicle, all that stuff. Okay, and then your fourth house is your home and family. Fourth house has to do with your growing up. It has to do with your home, you know, when you're an adult, and also your home when you're a child, you know. Fourth house, they say there's a little debate in astrology whether it represents the mother or it represents the father, you know. A lot of times, because they say the fourth house is the home of the moon, so a lot of times they say it would represent the mom, and the 10th house is the father. But I personally believe the fourth house is whoever raised you, and whoever that close parent would be, whoever you were very close with, and who you feel gave you the upbringing in your life and the nourishment, and really, you know, was there while you grew up. I would consider that person your fourth house person. That's the person, because, you know, there's a lot of single dads out there too who raising, you know, kids alone, and there's no mom. So he would be your fourth house, you know. So whoever raised you is your fourth house parent. I want to say too is fourth house has to do with, you know, sensitivity and home and nourishing, and it's nurturing kind of energy, you know. It's anywhere where you call home. Okay. All right. So then the fifth house in astrology. Can I make sure my computer's up? The fifth house is to do with creativity. You know, fifth house could do with children. You know, if you want to have children in your life, if you're going to have children in your life, you need to look at your fifth house and the ruler to that house. Also, it has to do with anything creative that you do in your life. Has to do with the fifth house. So you want to find out the ruler to that house and figure out what it is you're going to be doing creative wise. But for the most part, it's anything creative that you do, and it has a lot to do with children. And it also, fifth house has to do with love affairs. It's not the deep kind of love, but it's more like the love affair. So you can see the type of person you may be attracted to by looking at the sign that is on the cusp of the fifth house, and finding its ruler can tell you a lot about that as well. Okay? Sixth house. What is the sixth house? The sixth house has to do with work, and it's more like, it's not your career. It's more like your work environment, the people you work with, and your coworkers, and the environment itself, the building you go to, or whatever it is, your environment, your work environment, and how you are in that environment. And it has to do also with health. Anything health related you would see in the sixth house. So that's pretty much that one. Seventh house has to do with relationships, partnerships. And this could mean business partnerships or marital partnerships can be seen in the seventh house. Seventh house can also be seen is where you would find your open enemies as well, you know. So you want to look at the cusp of your seventh house and find out where the ruler is in your chart for more information, okay? Now we're getting into the other half of the wheel, the astrology wheel. So now we're in the eighth house. And what is the eighth house in astrology? Eighth house is your partner's income. It's also has to do with intensity. Eighth house is intense feelings. It's not like the love affair, like the fifth house. The eighth house would mean really intense feelings, meaning that there's a lot of, if it's a love affair, it's intense feelings if it's seen in the eighth house, you know. It has to do with your partner's income. And like I said, very deep feelings, you know. Eighth house is also life, death, and transformation, you know. So a lot of times, you know, they say that there's psychic indicators in a chart, and, you know, I want to say the psychic houses would really be the water houses, which are the 12th, the 4th, and the 8th, okay? And if you have water signs in these houses, could be a psychic indicator for you, especially it's on the cusp of that house, and if a water sign rules that house. But not only this, but it's also a psychic indicator depending on the planets you have in the 8th house as well, or the 12th, or the 4th, okay? So, like, a lot of mediums I know, like, would have a lot of planets in the 8th house, okay? So, you know, when you're looking at someone's chart, sometimes you can tell this person could be gifted in, you know, the occult in some way, or, you know, maybe they have medium skills, or maybe they can speak to the other side, or you know, whatever it is, like especially if you have a sign in a water house and it has to be like Cancer. Cancer would mean like intuitive abilities, you know, like very almost like you know what the person's feeling. I want, maybe it's more of an empath, okay? I want to say, you know, intuitive could also be Pisces. Pisces would be more intuitive, you know. I want to say if you have planets in water houses, and again, it's got to be in the water sign. So if you have to mix and match kind of like what you have where to figure out, you know, the indicators. But Scorpio is a sign that it's a water sign, and it would be more medium stuff, like talking to either side, you know. You know, I'm just giving you more information than need be. I don't want to confuse anybody, but you know, a lot of psychic gifts, just so you know, can be seen in the water houses. The water houses, again, are the 12th, the 4th, and the 8th. And the water signs are Pisces, Cancer, and Scorpio. So if you have water signs in the water houses, that could be an indicator of a, you know, of psychic indication. And there's other indicators too, but I'm not going to get into all of those. But I just wanted you to know. And also planets in the 8th house, 4th house, or the 12th house as well can tell you a lot. And especially not just the house, but if it's in a water sign too. Anyway, there's, again, like I said, there's more to it than that, but that just gives you a little info on that. But 8th house, it has a lot to do with what's, you know, like, I want to say if you have planets in the 8th house, you may be really interested in the occult, okay? So the 8th house, remember, it has to do with death, transformation, and it has to do with rebirth. It also has to do with your partner's income. It also has to do with intensity, deep feelings, you know? And it's what 8th house is really what's beneath the surface, what's not really being shown, you know? 8th house is a really interesting house, you know, so if you have planets there, it's kind of interesting, you know. Anyway, we'll go, maybe I'll do planets in different houses later and see what they mean. Maybe I'll do a video on that. I don't know. But for now, I just wanted you to clear up what the houses mean. So some people seem confused. So now let's go to the 9th house. What is the 9th house? The 9th house has to do with beliefs, philosophical beliefs, you know. It can be spiritual beliefs, your spirituality, you know. 9th house has to do with long distance travel, where the 3rd house had to do with short distance travel. The 9th is long distance travel and foreign people in foreign places, you know. So if you have planets there, it can indicate any of these things. Again, you have to watch the cusp of that house and the rulers to that house to figure, kind of put it all together and see what it's telling you. The 10th house is how you appear to the public or your career, okay? The cusp of the 10th house is right on the top of your chart, okay? And that is known as your midhaven. And the midhaven is the pinnacle of your career, okay? And then it goes into the 10th house, is like how you're seen in career, like how people see you. So what you need to do is look at, you know, you need to look at your chart to figure out what's at the cusp of the 10th house and where that ruler is to give you more information about, you know, career-wise, how things are. And you want to look at the 2nd house as earned income, okay? And you want to look at the 6th house of like where you work to get more of a picture of like work and money. And 10th house is your career, just put it that way. And it's how the world sees you as a whole, you know, how you are seen to the public, you know. So that's seen in the 10th house, okay? I hope I'm not confusing anyone. If you have questions, put them below and I'll get back to you. Now let's get to the 11th house. What is the 11th house? The 11th house are hopes, wishes, and dreams, and it's also your friendships can be seen here. So you want to look at the cusp of the 11th house and its ruler, where this ruler is, for more information on that, okay? Now we go to the 12th house. What is the 12th house? The 12th house is mysterious. It's kind of like the things that are hidden, you know, behind the scenes, you know. Planets can be, you know, it seems that like when a planet is in the 12th house, it's kind of like hushed up in a way. It's behind the scenes, you know, like a moon. If a moon is in the 12th house, it's like you hold on to the emotions. They're not really being exposed, or it's hard for you to express that, you know, depending on the planet that's in the 12th house, okay? Also the 12th house, you know, a lot of things can be represented in the 12th house, like hospitals, jails, prisons, you know, maybe, you know, any kind of like an asylum or something like this would be the 12th house, you know. It's kind of the things that are behind the scenes, the things that are hidden. So if you have planets here, again, you have to figure out what planet it is, and again, you're going to look at the cusp of that house and its ruler and what sign it's in, and then and the ruler to that as well. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. But yeah, the 12th house is like things that are kind of hidden from you, you know. So if you have any questions, hopefully this clears this up for you guys. I just wanted to kind of go through the houses and what they mean. I am teaching a class, a basics class, and the link is below, and I'm teaching an aspects class coming up, and the link is below that. So I hope to see you there, and we go in depth on all of this stuff, the houses, the signs, the planets, what everything means, and you really need to get a grasp of the signs and the rulers, the planets that rule those signs. It's so important in synastry to figure things out and know where to go and, you know, where to find it. And it's kind of a puzzle that you put together. That's what kind of like, I guess with my Virgo ascendant, that's why I like charts so much. It's kind of like, you know, a little mystery that you have to kind of figure out for somebody. Anyway, I love it, and I hope you will love it too, and hopefully you'll take one of my classes, and, you know, I can teach you all this, which I love teaching, so it gives me pleasure to, you know, get you to understand all this, and for you to figure out your own charts yourself, and figure out other people's charts. And I do have a few chat rooms. I have a chat room for beginners and advanced, and, you know, and aspects too. And I love when students learn things that you're teaching, and then you all start talking in the class and in the chat room, and it's kind of like they're understanding your language, you know what I mean? And you're all kind of like saying, and everybody has, you know, because the houses aren't just one meaning sometimes, you know, there are many meanings, and it's kind of like putting together a puzzle. And you get different variations from people who are like, well, I think this really means this in this person's life. And, well, I'm feeling this way because, you know, the ruler is in this house, and that would mean this. And it's just so interesting. I find it fascinating, and it's like a puzzle, you know. And I don't know, I just love educating people. And then when you get together as a group, and they're all speaking your astrology language because they understand it at that point, and I don't know, it's like you all like are working on the puzzle together. You know, it's like forensics. I don't know. I love it. It's just different. I don't know. But anyway, I hope I was clear in explaining things for you. And it's Halloween. I put the red lights on. It's kind of dark in here. And I hope you have a nice Halloween. And I feel really badly if you guys are on the East Coast. My heart goes out to you guys. I've seen on the news everything, and my prayers are with you. I hope that you and your family are safe. And I hope, you know, like they get that, you know, they get your lights going, and I hope that you got your heat going, as I heard many of you were fighting for, you know, trying to get that gasoline. Many lines on the news, there's lines of people trying to get gasoline for their generators just to have heat for their family. And my gosh, you know, you don't realize the destruction that water can bring, you know. But it was a full moon, and the full moon didn't help because on the 29th, it, you know, full moons make the tides go more, you know. So they said that it was like a perfect storm with everything going on and made it worse. But anyway, my heart goes out to you guys, and you're in my prayers, and I hope that you guys, they get everything situated for you all and rebuild, and, you know, this too shall pass, you know. And for those of you who lost loved ones, I'm really sorry. That's horrible. And like I said, my thoughts and prayers go out to all of you guys. And I wanted to say, those of you who friended me on Facebook, I'm so sorry, you know, but like I said, don't be offended. I didn't friend you. I just, my personal page is just for like childhood friends and family. But like I say, I have, if you want to like the LIVEVISIONZ.com page on Facebook, that's great, and you'll get the updates and everything, and I'm on Twitter as well, so you'll get all my updates. You won't miss anything. And again, I wanted to say thank you to you all, and I didn't want you to think that I didn't like you guys by not friending. I don't know, I guess maybe it's, you know, I have a Cancer moon, so maybe I'm just really personal and private. I don't know. I know I can be weird like that, so please don't be offended. But anyway, I just wanted to say I was flattered. that you sent me those requests, and I just wanted to give you and let you know. Maybe you didn't know there was a business page that I had, and I just wanted to show you that as well. Anyway, I have a few people. One of them's in my class, and I really hope she's okay during this weather, and I know she's on the East Coast, and my heart goes out to you, and I hope you're okay. Love you, girl. Anyway, talk to you soon, and I will be deciding this week. I don't know what the next videos are going to be, but I wanted to get out the houses for you guys so you know kind of what they mean, okay? Well, anyway, hope you're all safe and you stay warm, and the weather is calming down by wherever you live, and more videos to come, okay? If you want to take a class, the links are below, and I'd be more than happy to have you in my next class, okay? Have a good day. Bye-bye.